During the Twitch preview stream for ESO's Update 40 Endless Archive patch, ESO lead Rich Lambert said this patch has more rewards than any patch previously. Stick around, because we're going to take a look at them all. Timestamps are in the description if you want to jump ahead to a certain thing. Hello my fellow Tamrielites, welcome to the channel or welcome back. I'm starting the rewards list with a bit of a cheat by starting us out with a mini tour of the new Galen player home, Gladesong Arboretum. I say it's a bit of a cheat because although it is currently on the PTS, it will not be available when Update 40 goes live. But it probably will be in the Crown Store in the next few months. And I'm very happy to say that the Apocrypha home that I've been hoping for since the chapter hit the PTS is finally going to be available. I'm hoping this year. It is on the PTS and I will be showing it in the outro. But first, we're going to take a look at all of the rewards so that you can properly prioritize your hunt for the shinies. I'll go through each category of reward and include screen-capable graphics listing the associated achievements. Let's dive in. First up is Furnishings, and I won't bury the lead. The Grandmaster crafting stations are here, and they will be on sale for 1,500 writ vouchers from Ralis Halalu's assistant. The tables look great, and the idea is well thought out too. All previously attuned stations that you have help you because the Grandmaster tables have to be fed an attuned table to gain the ability to make that set. And as you're seeing, the more attuned tables you feed them, the cooler they look. That's neat and extra in and of itself, but it also means that if I buy one because it looks cool, and they do look cool, and I feed it the 1 or 2 attuned tables that I own, yeah, it'll look nice, but not half as fancy as the one in my guild hall that's fully attuned. That's a nice bonus for guild halls, and a great reward for all of the massive effort that it's taken guilds to buy and arrange all of those attunable tables all these years. And I very much am looking forward to seeing what some of my creative guilds will do with their guild halls now that they can be more than warehouses for crafting tables. So as you can see, there is a basic, unattuned model, a lightly attuned version with additional items, and an animated, moderately attuned version with even more items and glowy bits. The fully attuned version adds a glowing crafting symbol that floats above the table. Which, freaking chef's kiss to whoever thought of that. Now I can identify which station I'm walking to from across the room, which in turn means that they don't necessarily have to all be clumped together. Maybe I won't even need glowy symbols because the guild hall's blacksmith table could be in, a forge area, is what I'm saying. Yes, bring on the crafting clutter. By the way, on the subject of crafting, mats for improving jewelry pieces will be rebalanced with this patch. It is a fantastic change, in case you haven't heard. Grains are being phased out. When the patch drops, all grains you have, green, blue, purple, and gold, will become plates of the same quality. All plates you have will multiply times 10, so if you had 2 chromium plates before the patch, you'll have 20 afterwards. What you may not have heard is that the amount of chromium plates needed to make gold jewelry will also increase from 5 to 8 plates. So you won't necessarily be able to make 10 times as much gold jewelry as you can now, but it will definitely be an improvement. Back to the Grandmaster crafting tables, also a huge improvement. I know people are very excited about them, and so I wanted to start with these, and then decided it would make sense to show the rest of the furnishings available outside the Endless Archive before we dive into the archive itself. So next up, we have all the new furnishings you can buy for gold from the home goods vendor. These are the new ones, in addition to the ones that were previously there, including some fantastic structural pieces from Cypher's Midden, which I'm starting with. There's also some more great gigantic fungi from the Telvanni Peninsula that I know some people are going to be super excited about. Not necessarily me, but that's okay, because there's a lot of fun Apocrypha plants that I can use on the balcony courtyard of my tower in Apocrypha whenever it comes out. I can hardly wait to have my own little garden of eyeball plants. So those are the furnishings you can go buy with gold right off. Update 40 also brings us 71 new patterns to farm from the world. I believe these patterns will be dropping in the Telvanni Peninsula and Apocrypha zones, not just in the Endless Archive. The patterns are available in 2 themes, Necrom and Apocrypha. We'll be starting with the Necrom patterns that will become available, and I am excited about the vases of flowers and flower beds that will be craftable, and I'm happy to have them. I don't necessarily love the blocky Necrom containers, but I'm still happy to have flowers in a vase as one item. And lastly, the new Apocrypha patterns, and there are quite a few. In terms of your basic people-like furniture, there's a spiked version and an intricate version, both of which you'll recognize. We also have some new light sources, which I love, including a little basket of glow balls, light diffusers, which will be in every home I own once I can make them. The Apocrypha furniture is stark, but I'm looking forward to the challenge of making it a homey space with it. Then we move on from furniture mortals might build to furniture Hermaeus Mora might build, If you've ever heard an interior designer use the term statement piece and wondered what it meant, well, this is not what they meant, I pretty much guarantee you. But if you want to build a creepy Cthulhu shrine that will be the envy of friends on any plane, here you go. Big stacks of floating books. Love it. Myself, I can hardly wait to get started. Seriously though, if creepy libraries are your thing, you need to sit down, because I have something super sexy to show you next. Yeah, the floating bookshelves. How happy am I? All the happy. Take a few deep breaths while I tell you the caveat. These are all gold quality items. They are craftable, they are not antiquities, but they are not available from Morales Hlalu. My guess is that they will be the new gold level patterns you can get from fishing. It's possible some are already available that way, but these were all flagged as new in the housing editor and new in the patterns that were available as samples of what was going to be in the new patch. When I know for certain where they're dropping on the live server, I'll probably post a short about them. If you know where they're dropping, please let me know in the comments. If they are from fishing, I need to learn to love fishing a lot more than I do. Switching tracks from farmable patterns to farmable furnishings, Update 40 also brings us a new Tales of Tribute deck for Hermaeus Mora. I'll talk more about the new deck later, but for furnishings, a new deck means 2 new tapestries in large and small versions. This time, it's the Seeker Aspirant and Chromatic Reservoir cards. I think either or both would be excellent additions to the creepy library we're building, and they'll look great with some colorful lights around them. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The colorful lights are later. And there are other rewards associated with Tales of Tribute, and those will also be later. The last type of furnishings that can be farmed drop within the Endless Archive. The patch note said 7 furnishings would drop in archive chests, and I believe these 7 are those pieces. I did get one of these pieces from a chest the last time I was in the archive, specifically the largest of the glowing pipes. I really do hope that these are the 7 pieces that are going to be dropping from chests, because I'm really impressed with the thought that went into this selection. You don't need any of these to build a space, but if you have 1 or 2 of these pieces, it really would add a lot to a build, even if they didn't match. But if you do happen to have a whole bunch of them, that would be really impressive. I'm looking forward to collecting them. Now let's talk about the Antiquities furnishings, always one of my favorites. I will not be giving lead locations at this time. I only have a couple of them, although I will put those couple in as they come up, but I will do future videos and shorts with the rest of the leads. Update 40 will be bringing us a lot of new Antiquities furnishings, not only from Apocrypha, but also 11 new pieces to base game zones. I'll start with those. In the Alakir Desert, we'll be able to find a Yukuden stone relief, and I would read Yukuden Codex entries all day long, so yay! And this piece comes with a bonus portrait of Thoth. I mean, that Ibis dude. So what's not to love? And then there's this magnificent piece from the Clockwork City. I have at least 2 homes I want to do major updates now on because of this, would replace like 10 or so items in each spot. And this beauty would be much more striking. Glass and moving gears, and a whole wall of it. I love the cracking in the glass. This machinery has been through some shit, and it's still going. Like that Dwarven Centurion you've destroyed 5 times already that keeps hitting you in the back. From Deshawn, we have the Dark Elf Ceremonial Altar, and not a statue of Amalexia, which I don't know why I was expecting that, but I kind of was, but ah well. This is another one of those that I'm looking forward to, specifically because I can replace other things that I have in my home. I've never liked displaying my tribunal items on the Imperial altar I currently use. Didn't quite have anything that would work as well that was appropriately themed, but soon I will. Glenumbra will soon be home to the new Breton Wells, Stone Grey. I'm a little perplexed by this one, I have to admit. I feel like we already have a good deal of well options. If we were going to have a new structural piece from Glenumbra, I would have liked to have seen a section of cemetery fence. But maybe I'm just not seeing what's special about this particular well. But here is a lovely, unique structural piece from the Gold Coast, an Imperial Shrine to Dibella. And now I want to rebuild part of my Sigic Villa, which has a Dibella garden. I swear, if I win the lottery and disappear for 6 months, it'll be because I celebrated by finally doing all of the home builds I've been wanting to do for years. From Northern Elsewhere, we will soon be able to excavate this Khajiit water vessel. If this had water in it, I'd be so excited, but as it is, I'm kinda less so. The shape has possibilities, but it isn't super fantastic. On the other hand, it might work really well as a component of a composite piece if you were building some kind of a machinery thing. Similarly, I'm not super excited about the new Khajiit arch from Reaper's March. I can appreciate commitment to a theme, but I find the faded, worn look on some of the base game Khajiit pieces to feel a little, well, sad, actually. So I would use almost any arch before this one, but I know some people love their old school Khajiit homes, and this will be useful in those houses, and not everything is about me. And speaking of things that are not about me, and commitment to a theme as well, Shadowfen will be gaining the new painted stone frog, which glows. Though I'm not sure you can see that very well here. And to be honest, the longer I look at it, the more I like it, which probably is because it glows and I'm a magpie, so there we are. I probably do need one of these for a garden. And then we're in Southern Elsewhere, and there must be a glitch in the Matrix because I feel like I'm repeating myself. But, one, I must be missing some deep-seated well need in the housing community. Untapped, waiting to be quenched. And two, I have enough real-world housing repairs to do that walking by a well that so badly needs to be repainted causes me to almost physically twitch. Nonetheless, I will get 3 of them because I can't not read the codex entries. That's crazy talk. I love the Antiquities system. It always feels like it was made for me personally, and I'm astounded by the amount of work that goes into the codex and the pieces themselves. So I don't have to love this well to love the Antiquity. And I stomped right over the entrance of Somerset's new High Elf altar, Crystal. That's probably a violation of at least a dozen Aldmeri etiquette laws, so please don't report me to the Aldmeri authorities. I do not have time for their nonsense. So we are now on the 11th of the new base game Antiquities, and you've heard me throw out ideas for major rebuilds on half a dozen homes, but here's the piece I know that I will use more than any of the others, the Shelf of Black Soul Gems. This comes from the Deadlands, and I don't want a bunch of them because I love the idea of stacks of black soul gems sitting around my house, but because this is the kind of piece that really helps you stretch your item count. It has a lot of visual weight for its size because it looks like a bunch of small things. A piece like this gives that rich sense of deep clutter that's so important to Elder Scrolls as a whole, but particularly in a workshop kind of environment. Moving on, here we are in the Apocrypha Antiquities. I do not yet have leads for most of these. I am assuming most or all of them drop in the Endless Archive. The few that I do have I will let you know about, but again, most of them are currently unknown. Our blue Antiquities include the Apocrypha fossils called Ribcage, Slug, Tree, and my personal favorite, Wall Beast. My thanks to whomever named this because it makes me giggle every time, and I am really looking forward to the codex entries. Now our purple Antiquities, which I will do out of alphabetical order just to build the drama, starting with the Petrified Watcher. I do happen to know what lead this is. I got one from an Endless Archive chest in a side content portal, Hayfol's Butchery, during Arc 1. I don't know how much of that is relevant to getting the lead, but that is exactly where I found it. I do kind of love this piece, but it's an also-ran next to the short and tall scrying braziers. I get that tentacles might not be your thing, but I did mention that I'm a magpie, so fair warning. In addition to the fact that it's a cool looking piece, I like that there's a tall and short version. It really adds to the versatility. Next up, we have the Forged Black Book, which, yay! All the yay! It's probably going to take me a year to get all the patterns and items I want for the library that I want to build, but I am looking forward to the journey. In addition to magic books, my future house also gets to have, yes, soak it up, a magical oracular guardian. This is called a Watchful Light, and it is awesome. I try not to overuse the word awesome, but when it fits, it fits. I am looking forward to adding 1 or 2 of these to my homes with magical protections. Once again, though, of the purple Antiquities, my favorite is the most useful one, rather than the flashiest, though it is pretty. House builders, meet your new best friend, the Archival Light Diffuser. This is the small one, and I can tell you that I got a lead for this one from the chest in the Filer's Wing side content portal during Arc 2. Again, I don't know which specific piece of that description might be important. That is exactly where I got it. The light is steady, so you can sink it into an object and use it as ambient light, but I think it's interesting and decorative enough to leave visible in most environments, not just Apocrypha. It emits 5 colors: yellow, green, red, blue, and most importantly, white. The most exciting part about this light source for me is that this is the closest thing to a true neutral temperature that's powerful enough to light an entire area without being harsh. Oh, not this one, this is the small one. Let's jump up to the gold level Antiquities and take a look at the large Archival Light Diffuser. There we go. Light for your creepy library? Done. Telvanni Lab? Done. Thieves' Den? Covered. Ayleid Ruin Retreat? Sure. And oh hey, how about white light for your dye stations? How fantastic would that be? Done and done. In fact, I have a few of them buried under this platform right now, which is how you can see the back sides of things. Again, the large light diffuser is a gold level antiquity and I don't yet know the lead for it. When I do, I will share. Moving on, the large light diffuser comes from a single lead. The rest of the gold antiquities take multiple leads, starting with the Vision of Mora device, which has 3. Once you assemble and place this piece, you can interact with it to commune with the one who knows. Or however you want to play that, you decide. For our next exciting gold antiquity, we have the Infinite Tome, which does this. Infinitely. And in case you were wondering, no, magic glowing books are not like wells. Multiples are fine. Any number of magic books, totally cool with me. The last gold antiquity has 5 leads, and it is the Apocryphal Clothing Station. I love how it marries the threads of fate tapestry metaphor to the sails of a ship, and also with the tools of bookbinding. I didn't understand at first why they chose to do a clothing station as Apocrypha's antiquity crafting table, but once I saw it, it's perfect. Before we leave the antiquities, I want to mention that there are 3 antiquities that are bags of currency from the Endless Archive. I believe you can only excavate them once, but I'm not entirely certain about that. When you do, you get a certain amount of the Endless Archive's currency called Archival Fortunes. The blue level antiquity rewards 200 fortunes, and I did get the lead for that one from a chest after defeating Thoat in Arc 1 of the Endless Archive. The purple level antiquity gives 1,000 fortunes, and the gold level antiquity 2,000 fortunes. That currency, Archival Fortunes, drops in the Endless Archive as you kill things, and it is the only currency accepted by the Watcher merchant, Tezurs, who is the Achievement Furnishings vendor. He also sells other things, which we'll discuss after the Achievement Furnishings. But talking about the Achievement Furnishings means talking about the achievements, which means at this point we need to talk about the structure of the Endless Archive. If you are familiar with the archive, you can skip forward to the timestamp on the screen. The Endless Archive is organized in waves. You'll get a series of mobs, which is called a stage. After 2 stages, you fight a boss. 2 stages plus the boss is a cycle. After 4 cycles, you fight Thoat, who is the archive's main boss, and that ends the arc. So that's 2 stages, then a cycle boss, 4 cycles, and then Thoat, and that is an arc. Each cycle is harder, and every iteration of Thoat is stronger. When you defeat Thoat the first time, you'll add the Thoat trophy to your collection, and you'll get the bust version normally used for vet mode when you kill Thoat at Arc 4. Note that there is no normal vet mode for the Endless Archive. It just keeps getting harder, and the rewards better and better the further you go. One important thing to understand about the archive is that as you progress, you are offered buffs called verses or visions, depending where you are. Verses come at the end of stages and are short-lived, and visions come after boss fights, and they are longer-lived. In both cases, you are offered a choice between 2 random options, and what you choose can really affect your strategy. All verses and visions are classified as either offensive, defensive, or utility class. Every time you are offered a choice, it will be 2 different types. So for example, you'll never get a choice of 2 offensive options. And now that we've covered all that, let's go back and take a look at the Achievement Furnishings, because they are fab. First up is the Apocryphal Drying Rack, which is unlocked by the achievement A Little Help Never Hurt, completed by finishing 3 stages of the archive with a companion. When I first saw these in the Zone of Apocrypha, I thought it was a specialized kind of bookshelf for large, thin books like Clockwork City bookshelves, sort of. A paper drying rack is much cooler, though. As popular as crafting is, I can't be the only one who loves seeing the crafting tools of the bookbinders. Then we have the Apocrypha Pedestal. This is unlocked by completing the achievement Battle Ready, which is acquiring 5 offensive verses or visions. One note, though. I say the achievement is named Battle Ready, but some of the achievements were changed during the PTS run. Right before the patch is about to go live, Tezurs still has the old achievement names in his inventory lists, and I'm not sure how they'll read when they get onto the live server. I'll show all of the glowy achievement furnishings in a shadow area as well, so you can get a sense of their light. I think I've been pretty transparent about my love of all things Apocrypha, and I'm really tickled at the number of great furnishing plans coming out for this patch. And then we have these, Apocrypha Plant Languid Tentacles, because of course. Now you too can have giant tentacles in your home. The achievement required to buy these is unlocked by encountering every possible type of enemy in the archive, and its achievement name is Archive's Most Adored. I have so many jokes that are not going into the script. But you're smart, you can work them out on your own. And this achievement furnishing is called the Apocrypha Window, I. I mentioned that some achievement names were changed. I believe this window is unlocked by Fortune's Soldier, which is defeating 5,000 maligraphies, or enemies in the archive. but you should double check that when patch drops before you start grinding. I have to imagine sometimes that there was this dev meeting and someone says, okay, imagine a realm where everything, absolutely everything, is either a book, or a tentacle, or an eyeball, or an ocular nerve, or preferably at least two of those things at the same time. Oh, and everything is purple and green just so no one ever gets too comfortable. And Rich, bless him, said, "That sounds awesome, let's do it!" And that is why I love Rich. Next up is the Apocrypha obelisk, just in case you need a ring of spires around the outside of your creepy library, maybe with some watchful lights in between, maybe some of those bloodthorn moving vines from Glenumber around the bases. The obelisk is unlocked by the achievement First Splurge, which is spending 1,000 Archival Fortunes, so that'll be easy. The Coral Altar piece is unlocked by the achievement Studying Up, which is acquiring any 5 utility verses or visions. I mentioned an achievement before that required getting any 5 offensive verses or visions, so this is the utility version of that achievement. The defensive achievement will show up later. I believe this piece is from a Delve Pet quest in Apocrypha where a group of people are in service to Mora as a hive mind he can use like a sub-processor. Their bodies are in magical comas. Some people are there willingly, and I can see how that kind of shared mental experience would really be amazing. I didn't actually go back to that delve to check, so I'm not 100% certain that that's where the Coral Altar is from, but this Daedric Arch glass is 100% from the main Necrom quest, in the Glass Mine. It's unlocked by the achievement Heavy Hitter, which is destroying 1,000 Malligraphies, which are enemies in the archive, so that won't be tough. Tezurs has one more little green glowy shiny for us before the centerpiece of his collection coming up. This is the Endless Archive Access replica. It is a little similar to one of the Antiquities, but not everyone has Western Skyrim, and the Endless Archive is base game content that anyone can access, so I appreciate that they included it. The Access replica is unlocked by the achievement A Sturdy Shield, which is unlocked by acquiring any 5 defensive verses or visions, so that's all 3 of the Get Any 5 achievements represented in the achievement Furnishings. And now the main event of the achievement Furnishings, the crown jewel of Filer Tezurs' collection, a replica of the Endless Archive Index. I really hope this fits in the space where I want to put it, but I'll do a build around it if I have to. Once I get it, of course, which will take a while given the number of things to buy with the Archival Fortunes currency. Speaking of which, Tezurs sells many things besides achievement furnishings, including account-wide upgrades that change your options for verses and visions. Filer Tezurs offers 6 of these upgrades. In addition to needing Archival Fortunes to buy them, they are also achievement locked. Each of the achievements is associated with a specific piece of side content within the Endless Archive, which are all accessed through these unknown portals, like this one, that have a random chance of appearing when you finish a stage. The portal will take you to one of 6 areas, each with its own objective. When you complete an objective within that portal, it advances that achievement's progress bar. As an example, a portal might take us to Hayfell's farm, where we become a goat and have to eat sweet rolls to gain enough strength to attack Hayfell before he butchers us. I love this game. It will be harder each time, but each time you successfully achieve that objective within that environment before dying, the progress bar for that associated achievement will advance. And once you complete the associated achievement, you can buy the associated account upgrade from Filer Tezurs. So a quick recap. Portals to the side content will have a chance of spawning at the end of stages. Step through one and you'll be taken to one of 6 environments, each with its own story and objective. Each time you encounter that same place and story, it will be a little tougher. Clear its difficulty levels to unlock its achievement, and then you can buy the associated account upgrade from Tezurs. And because it's an account upgrade, you only buy it one time, and it is permanently unlocked for all characters on your account. In addition to achievement furnishings and account upgrades, Tezurs also sells crafting mats, including containers of jewelry mats and furnishing mats, which is fantastic. Also, there's a lockbox of gold if you want to convert your Archival Fortunes into gold, which I cannot imagine wanting to do, but we each play the game in our own way. Additionally, Tezurs offers mystery verses, one of each type, offensive, defensive, utility, which you can buy and take with you into the archive. And last but not least, Filer Tezurs sells pieces of gear from the class sets that drop in the Endless Archive, and he offers the gear for sale for 2 ways. We have curated bags of each set for 15,000 Archival Fortunes, and if you buy one, you'll get a piece of purple quality gear from that class set that you do not have in your sticker book. The blue bags are only 2,000 Fortunes, but they are a random piece of that set. If you don't have any of that set, then the blue ones are the economical place to start. Note that the class sets are restricted and can only be worn by the class that they're made for. While you are in the archive, the gear that will be dropping for you will be the class of the character that you're running until your sticker book is full. After that, you will get random pieces from any set. Each of the 7 sets comes in all weights, so you'll be able to mix and match them in any way you like, which is super helpful, especially for hybrid builds. And by the way, I don't know if I've mentioned how much I like shiny things. Oh, I did? You've met me? Cool. So I'll mention then, each of these sets have their own appearance and particle effects. My sorcerer can crackle now. I can't tell you how happy that makes me. Like, I literally can't because my new mic and audio setup would cancel the high-pitched dolphin noises. And yeah, I can buy the Sorcerer class set gear with fortunes, or I can try farming them one random piece at a time. But I have an index to save for, and it'll be so much easier just to pull my Stamsork out of storage and run her through, and I haven't played her for years, so... well played, Zoss. Well played. I don't believe these looks will ever be available as motifs, because they don't fit the motif system. What I mean is, they come in light, medium, and heavy armor, but their appearance doesn't change. No matter what weight you have on, it looks like it does in the video. 1 look per class. They might be released as outfit styles, but if I had to put money on it, my guess would be that they will not be available in the outfit system either. I hope I'm wrong, but I think if you want the look, you'll need to wear the gear and therefore be that class. The last thing I want to say about the class sets is that they each have a strong undertone at the dye station, which affects the colors that you're using. For example, you are not going to make the Necromancer set stark white, so if you've got that idea in your head, just let it go now. It wants to be dark, and preferably purple. Most of the sets have equally strong opinions about how they will allow themselves to be dyed. And I'm going to use that as a sketchy seg into showcasing our new dye color from the Endless Archive, Arcmaster Moss. I've had it on a bunch of the gear, but here it is isolated on a couple of different materials. This dye is unlocked by completing the achievement Arcing Onward, which is reaching Arc 4. Since I've been talking about clothes, kinda, I'm going to jump over to the 2 new outfit styles as well. Neither of these outfit styles are from the archive, but there's just no good place to put them. So we'll come back to the archive, but first let's take an intermission to check out these 2. First, the Red Rook Bandit outfit style. It will be available for Telvar from the PvP Telvar merchants. I like it well enough, but I don't think it's unique enough or interesting enough to entice me to spend my Telvar on it. Our second outfit style is called Frendar's Tribute, and the pages drop from Tales of Tribute reward bags. I really like this set. I showed a dyed and undyed version of the Red Rook Bandit, but when I went to dye the Frendar's Tribute, I just couldn't find colors that I liked that suit it better, so I ended up just shooting it this way. I mentioned the Tales of Tribute tapestries earlier. They, like Frendar's Tribute outfit style pages, also drop randomly from Tribute reward bags. There is also a new deck, and the fragments drop in, yes, the Endless Archive. So let's talk about Tales of Tribute. As you can see, all of the fragment descriptions say Endless Archive. The first week on the PTS, 1 fragment was available for sale from either Tezurs or the other watchling merchant in the index whose name is Filer Ool. We'll get to him in a minute. And you can see that one of the fragments does say that it drops from a merchant, so I think that's where you get that. The card upgrades are pretty standard, using the patron 10 times in PvP play, chase down 2 cards from clues and reward bags, and 1 from beating the master. I did not find the master available for this deck, so I can't say for certain, but my guess is that he will be available in the Endless Archive after you've assembled the decks. That's a guess, though. There is one other big change coming to Tribute that I want to be sure to mention. It used to be that your first PvP win of the day gave a purple reward bag. With Update 40, the daily reward bag will become a gold bag. Right now, the only way to get a gold-level Tribute bag was from Marunji's Daily after beating 3 players in PvP play. This is a huge improvement. And it will make it much easier to farm the music box lead, so thank you for that, Zoss. Also thank you because after the patch, the novice level NPCs will be easier to beat, which was a change requested by people who struggle with the game. So if that's you, give the novices a try after the patch if you've been frustrated before. With that, let us return to the Endless Archive Index to meet the second watchling merchant I mentioned earlier, Filer Ool. Ool is a new weekly merchant. He is always present in the archive, but his stock changes each week. Like Filer Tezurs, Filer Ool only accepts Archival Fortunes as payment. I'm going to be cruising through 3 weeks of his inventory on the PTS, and you'll see some similarities week to week. This might change when Update 40 goes live, but here is the assortment pattern that I've seen so far. There's a container with a treasure map from a specific zone, an outfit style page from an Undaunted set, a piece of purple companion gear. It appears to randomly rotate through light, medium, and heavy armor, weapons, and, yes, jewelry. I might finally have some Purple Companion jewelry. Uhl also seems to carry 2 leads, which is fantastic. Each week there is also a random fragment from a public dungeon collectible. Again, the archive is available in the base game, so that means people without an expansion have a shot at getting those collectibles. There also seems to be a clue to a tribute card each week. Each assortment also seems to contain 2 book furnishings. The patch notes say that Update 40 contains 65 new interactable books, and I believe this is where you'll find those. I certainly could be wrong on that one, though. The last thing to mention about Uhl's stock is that each week he carries 1 collectible fragment of the 4 needed to complete the 4 different Endless Archive achievements, with its own reward. You may have heard that there was a new mount, and yes, the malographic mount. You get it by completing the achievement Ichor Most Malevolent, which requires you to collect and use 50 malographic ichors, which is one of the 4 collectible fragments Filer Uhl appears to rotate through. Now, I want to say these probably also do drop in the archive. I don't know for sure, though. I did not personally see one of the malographic mount fragments drop, but I barely spent any time inside either. Regardless, you can, on occasion, buy them from Uhl. There is also a pet available from the archive, the malographic skeever. Now, I can get behind or on top of, a horse made out of ink. Super cool. Did I necessarily need a zombified skeever? Not so much. But I hope someone out there really enjoys it. Oh, right, achievement info. The achievement is Scheming Skeever, which requires collecting 25 disgusting spoils and consuming them, like you do, if you want a zombified skeever pet, and these I have seen drop in the archive. Filer Uhl also sometimes sells the fragments needed for the Shattered Mirror Maze face and body markings. The face markings are available from the achievement Peer into the Mirror Maze and requires 20 unreliable archive maps. The body markings are available from the achievement Walk Through the Mirror Maze, and that requires 20 erroneous archive maps. So the face is Peer into the Mirror Maze, and that's unreliable maps. The body is Walk Through the Mirror Maze, and that's erroneous maps. So that's a rundown of the kind of items that Filer Uhl has for sale for Archival Fortunes on the PTS. The remainder of the rewards from the Endless Archive come from unlocking achievements, including the second set of face and body markings, Mirror Scribe. The Mirror Scribe face marking is unlocked by the achievement Replicable Results, which is killing Thoat, the Archive's big bad, a total of 50 times. The Mirror Scribe body marking is unlocked by the Umbrella meta achievement Endless Archive Challenger, the one that's all the things. So it's finally time to go through that. The Endless Archive Challenger meta achievement includes 6 other achievements, and here they are. 1. Endlessly Versed. This is using every verse from each class at least once. To break that down, there are 16 unique offensive verses, and when you have acquired each one at least once, you unlock the achievement I Crave Violence. Acquiring each one of the 16 defensive verses unlocks the achievement You Can't Touch Me, and using each one of the 11 utility verses earns you the achievement Viable and Versatile, which is cleverly named, props. Unlocking all 3 of those, I Crave Violence, You Can't Touch Me, and Viable and Versatile, unlocks the meta achievement Endlessly Versed. And while we're here, unlocking the achievement Endlessly Versed grants you the first of 3 mementos that we get from Update 40, and it's the Summoned Brooknado. I apologize to everyone in Tamriel in advance for using this everywhere, but I will, and it lasts forever. The second achievement contained within the Endless Archiver Challenger meta achievement is Attentive Eye. So take everything I just said about Endlessly Versed achievement, but now apply it to visions instead of verses. To wit, 16 unique offensive visions completes the achievement Visions of Violence. Using each of the 16 defensive visions completes the achievement Endless Defender. Use all 15 unique utility visions to complete the achievement Seeing the Big Picture. And once you have all 3 of those, you unlock Attentive Eye. We'll get our second memento from this achievement, which is Malketh's Accursed Mirror. The third achievement contained in the Endless Archive Challenger meta achievement is Leading the Charge. which in turn is 4 sub-achievements gained by beating lots and lots of bosses in each of the 4 first arcs. Specifically, running the gauntlet is beating 100 bosses in Arc 1. Watch Them Fall is 50 bosses in Arc 2. Outstanding Onslaught is 30 bosses in Arc 3. Endless Arc's End is a mere 20 bosses in Arc 4. So that's 100 in Arc 1, 50 in Arc 2, 30 in Arc 3, and 20 in Arc 4. Completing all 4 of those unlocks the achievement Leading the Charge, which in addition to being the 3rd achievement included in the Endless Archiver Challenger meta achievement, also grants our 3rd and final memento of Update 40, Butcher Hayfell's Accursed Knife. The 4th achievement listed in the Endless Archive Challenger meta achievement is Arcing Onward, which is reaching Arc 4. We talked about this one earlier because it also unlocks the new die color Arcmaster Moss. The 5th achievement on the Endless Archiver Challenger list is Endless Archive Conqueror, which is defeating the final evolution of Thoat Replicanum, which is Arc 4. The Conqueror achievement also grants the first of our 3 new titles, which is Inkslayer. The 6th and final achievement contained within the Endless Archive Challenger meta achievement is No Book Left Unread, which is completing all of the content from all of the side portals. Back when I was talking about the archive-based account upgrades sold by Filer Tezurs, I listed the 6 achievements associated with each of the side content available in the unknown portals that can randomly appear at the end of stages. No Book Left Unread includes those 6 achievements, plus Pilfered Pilfer, which is killing the Pilfer 5 times. He appears randomly, and unfortunately I never got film of him. Completing all 7 of those achievements unlocks No Book Left Unread, which in addition to being the last achievement needed in our meta achievement list, also grants the 2nd new title available from Update 40, The Well-Versed. And that brings us to the end of the Endless Archive Challenger meta achievement. Completing it unlocks the last of our 3 new titles, The Unending, and, in addition, the Mirror Scribe body markings I started out with way back. That was a lot, right? How about we sit here with some nice, calm, screen-cappable charts for a moment and fan ourselves while I mention a few general things coming with Update 40. We'll see a rebalance of golden experience gained across all quests. All quests will now give a reward based on their tier, basically, from major quests like zone quests to little quests like delivering bad news from dungeons. We will also see new and better rewards from the Fighters Guild, Mages Guild, and Undaunted Daily Quest reward bags. They will now have a chance of dropping companion gear, which is nice. They can also drop commendations, which will grant a small amount of rank to that guild when consumed, and I am very happy about that. That is definitely a reason to do those dailies. And our last little bit of news, Update 40 will bring us new daily and weekly endeavors as well. And those, my darlings, are all of the new shinies coming with Update 40 and the Endless Archive. As you can see, I transitioned us over to the mini tour of the new player home I promised in the beginning. This tower, like the Gladesong Arboretum at the video's start, will not be available when Update 40 goes live on October 30th. I'm pretty sure they'll both be in the Crown store, but I don't remember where I read that, so maybe I dreamt it, but I'm guessing both houses will be available before the holidays. For those of you still here, thank you so much for watching. The channel is new enough that every watch minute counts. If you feel like I delivered on my promise of organized, helpful information, please consider sharing this video with the relevant hashtags to whatever social media you're involved in. Twitter, Facebook, whatever. I don't spend any real time anywhere but YouTube and it limits my reach, so sharing really helps me out. There are also subscribe and like buttons if you're so inclined. But regardless, thank you again for watching, and until next time, may all your loots be elite.